In the quiet town of Willow Creek, where the sunsets painted the sky in hues of amber and rose, lived a young woman named Lila Harper. At 25, Lila was known for her radiant smile, but behind it hid a heart heavy with doubt. She worked at the local diner, pouring coffee and serving pie, her dreams tucked away like old photographs in a drawer. Lila wanted to be a painter, to splash her soul onto canvases that spoke of hope and resilience. But the voices of others, her parents, her friends, even strangers, kept her tethered to a life she didn't choose. Art won't pay the bills, they'd say. Stick to what's safe. And so, she did, letting their words steer her life like a ship caught in someone else's current. One crisp autumn morning, as leaves crunched underfoot, Lila noticed a new face at the diner. An older man, his face etched with lines like a well-read book, sat alone at the counter. His clothes were worn, his hands trembled slightly, but his eyes sparkled with a quiet strength. Lila poured his coffee, and he introduced himself as Amos, a drifter passing through. "You got a story, don't you?" he asked, his voice warm like a hearth. Lila laughed it off, but something about Amos made her linger. Over the next few days, he became a regular, always asking her questions that pierced through her carefully built walls. "What makes your heart sing, Lila?" Or, "Why do you let others write your story?" One evening, as the diner emptied, Amos shared his own tale. He'd been a musician once, traveling the country with his guitar, until his family convinced him to settle for a real job. He spent decades in a factory, his music silenced, his spirit dimmed. "I let others control my life," he said, his voice cracking. "Don't make my mistake, Lila. Your life's your own." His words hit her like a gust of wind, stirring something dormant inside her. That night, she dusted off her paintbrushes, her hands trembling with both fear and exhilaration. But the next day, Amos didn't show. Days turned to weeks, and Lila's worry grew. She asked around, but no one knew where he'd gone. Her paintings, though, began to take shape, vivid landscapes of Willow Creek, faces of the people she loved, each stroke a rebellion against the voices that had held her back. Yet, without Amos, a piece of her inspiration felt missing. She painted him, too, his weathered face glowing with kindness, a reminder of the spark he'd ignited. One snowy evening, as Lila closed the diner, a young boy, no older than 10, slipped inside, shivering. His name was Jamie, and he was alone, his mother in the hospital, his father long gone. He'd been wandering, hungry, and scared. Lila's heart ached. She gave him her coat, a warm meal, and a seat by the heater. As they talked, Jamie's eyes fell on her sketchbook, open to a half-finished portrait of Amos. "That's the man who helped me," Jamie exclaimed. He told Lila how a kind stranger had given him money for food a week ago, urging him to find the diner and ask for Lila. "He said you'd know what to do," Jamie whispered. Tears welled in Lila's eyes. Amos, the drifter who'd nudged her toward her dreams, had extended his kindness to a child in need, trusting Lila to carry it forward. That night, she took Jamie to the local shelter, promising to check on him daily. She painted through the night, her canvas alive with colors of courage and compassion, each stroke a tribute to Amos's selflessness. The next day, she hung her paintings in the diner, a bold declaration of her true self. Customers noticed, their whispers turning to praise. A local gallery owner offered her a show, and for the first time, Lila felt her life was hers. Months later, at her gallery opening, Lila stood before a crowd, her paintings glowing under soft lights. Jamie, now safe with a foster family, stood beside her, clutching a small sketch she'd made for him. The centerpiece was her portrait of Amos, titled The Spark. She never saw him again, but his act of kindness, his belief in her and in a frightened boy, had changed everything. Lila spoke to the crowd, her voice steady. "Don't let others control your life. Live for what sets your soul on fire, and lift others as you rise." As the audience applauded, their faces alight with hope, Lila felt Amos's presence in the room. Her story, once silenced, now inspired others to listen to their own hearts. And in that moment, she knew, kindness, freely given, could ripple through the world, transforming lives in ways no one could predict.